A warm welcome. My name is Kira Louise Douglas, and thank you for tuning in to the Sacred Space podcast. Today, we have the incredible, joyous Chanel Baran here joining us. She's a visionary photographer, an incredible artist that's been working for over 10 years in this field. She's taken photos and had photo shoots all around the world, and she works with men and women, but particularly in the women's work, which I'm really excited to dive a little deeper into, exploring the healing that this photography experience can offer. So welcome, Chanel.
Hi, Kira. Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure and a joy. I'm curious to know and explore why photography, and what got you into this field and what got you into this work, and what it is that is so passionate that goes beyond you, that supports this mission of your like embodiment for photo shoots that you offer.
Oh, what a juicy question. So that's a big one. So where it all began and why. So I feel my passion for photography started when I was 16, when I was traveling in Italy with my beautiful mom. And I was just like, ching, 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 being a little tourista and just taking so many photos. And I felt the real power of photography in terms of like a documentary style really hit home when we came back from our trip, and then we were able to look back on those photos, and it just like took us right back to that moment, and what a beautiful adventure that was for me and my mom. And then I did photography at university in Townsville at JCU. It was like a double major of graphic design and photography, but I just really like was really good at it and like not so much graphic design. So I shifted my focus to photography, and it just like went really organically from there. It was really fun and super creative, and my like creative mind could really just go wild with also the awesome equipment that we had there, the studios, the camera hire, the lighting. It was like literally a little artist, little wonderland. And it was so fun. So I had all these friends at college that would be my little models. So it just sort of went from there. And then after uni, traveling over to the USA and experiencing the Burning Man festival, and just like traveling as a young adult was really, really fun. And just the power of photography again as like a portal to take you back to these beautiful moments. So then moving forward from that, I felt offering these photo shoots for people to like really take a moment to just be themselves in that moment, knowing that in the future they're going to look back on these photos and be transported back to like a younger time in their life. So I feel like photography really has a beautiful power about it to capture if you're going through something really hard. I find photography can be a healing tool to document that time, because life goes like this, you get the highs and the lows. It's like a beautiful wave. You just got to learn to ride the wave. So I feel as well like if you've been through a really hard time in your life, and a photo shoot can be a really great way to document how far you've come, and like document yourself when you're in a really great space, and just like use that as an anchor point for your future self when you're, for example, diving in a deeper, darker, more sad or depressed or heavier emotional space. Looking back on photos when you were feeling really good can also like, it can be like a thread that you can connect to maybe be in a better feeling space as well. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I was so fortunate that Chanel's a really dear sister of mine. Every time I'm in her space, she just lights me up, and it's like so much joy just to be in your energy, but then also fortunate enough to have a photo shoot done with you on the Rewilding Women's Bush Camp, and it was a mother-daughter shoot with my mum. So it was like this incredible experience to really capture the essence that you do, like so purely in the spirit of our connection and the love that we share, but also being in nature. And I see a lot of your pictures and photos that you create and craft are in nature, capturing, you know, a whole like experience, not just with the person, but with the land as well. And yeah, for me, it was like this really empowering experience because it's being seen and witnessed and being held in that space for who we are. And then a whole nother journey getting the photos and viewing them and witnessing myself. Oh wow, what has she captured me in? And like, yeah, it's just magic what you're creating. I really see the power of what you're saying of the portal and a memory and moment in time as an anchor. And yeah, I would love to like dive a little bit deeper into how photography can be so healing and what your process may be of like you hold such a safe space to build women's confidence, and by acknowledging their truth and seeing them in their purity and really like artistically crafting this incredible picture. So what kind of goes into that so then people can understand like the energy and love that's actually infused in making these offerings that you have?
Love it. It's like my favorite things to talk about as well. First of all, I love that photo shoot we did together at the bush camp. Oh my God, it was so beautiful of you and your mom. It's like one of my favorite mom and daughter photo shoots as well, because we're like such great friends. It like was a fantastic little platform to like create on top of. And yeah, it was just so special capturing you and your mom and how cute you two are and your little connection. Yes, okay, so photo shoots. So for me, I love to gather as much information and insight into someone that is wanting to do a photo shoot and what their intention is, because I feel the intention is like the driving force of the photo shoot. And I find some people come to me and they're like, we surrender to whatever you want to do. I'm your canvas. And that's really fun for me because I can get really creative, but I still want to know more about them to see how I can be creative with them. Whereas mostly I have this massive questionnaire that's like so long that it's taken like 12 years of really refining it and making it so in depth to get a really deeper understanding. Because some people, they don't want any of these photos shared. They're like, these are like so private for me. Or maybe this section of the photo shoot is really private and I don't want anything shared online. Whereas another section may be, yeah, totally cool, let's share that online. Or the whole shoot is like, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I want awesome photographs and content for myself to like really share far and wide. So it all has a different energy on how deep we can go, as well as how sensual a photo shoot can be. Because I find, yeah, for me, creating this beautiful space, for example, like on the bush camp, which is this amazing camp facilitated by Erin Reese and Gillian Zamora up in the beautiful Atherton Tablelands here in Cairns. And it's like there's this beautiful creek that it's super private that I do these like little mini photo shoots with people, and same thing, it can be completely private or it could be fully shared, whatever they like. But it's like this space where, for example, if it is fully private and it's the photos are just for themselves, it creates this whole other energy that you can just be whoever you want to be. You can be as luscious as you want to be, just as like goddess in the forest, which, you know, most of the time there's like people around creeks and public swimming holes that sometimes you may not feel comfortable enough to be this like beautiful, radiant, sensual goddess. So that's a great way to tap into that if that's something that you want to express more in your life, or, you know, access, or even try for the first time. You know, I feel like photo shoots can be a very beautiful healing experience of building confidence in your heart, and as well as I love to hold like a very supportive space where I'm like your little cheerleader, like cheering you on to, and also inviting you to move in certain ways that can also like purely just being guided to do a certain movement, obviously with full consent. It's always an invitation, never like, you must do this. It's like, what about this? And I feel when I've been on the other end of that in photo shoots where my friend who's a photographer or working with other professional photographers, when they've guided me to do certain things, it brings up certain emotions, like, for example, some insecurity or some confidence. And I feel like in the moments of insecurity, where we all have, and I totally have, as I said, it's a wave, that I find movement and dance and breath can really help me shift out of like a not so confident feeling place to feeling more embodied, to feel more myself, and also to be in a space that I'm allowed to be all of myself. You know, I feel that is like one of the main key ingredients in this. So I feel like when someone shares their intention with me on what the photo shoot they want or what they'd like to experience, we can like craft this experience together and like weave both of our beautiful magic and energies and creativity together to create these beautiful images. And I feel as well the willingness to do this is like a massive thing. Because even at some photo shoots, like if a client may get into a place that they're like, oh no, I don't feel so good. I'm feeling really triggered or really not confident or really, not good in my body. There's a difference between being willing to like want to move that energy or stay there. So I love it when we can move past that threshold of acknowledging if there's like a bit of insecurity or a bit of self-consciousness, that we're both willing to like move and shift that energy. And then that's a beautiful way to do it in your life when you do go into those deeper, darker spaces, to obviously acknowledge what you feel like when you're there, but be like, all right, let's get this shit moving. Let's get vibration.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, wow. It's incredible because it's a really embodied experience. Like you're talking about bringing in movement or bringing in touch and feeling. And it's incredible because you're guiding that process and you're paying attention and ultimately you're holding space in facilitating the way things are moving, but allowing the unique expression to come through that wants to shine. And like you're really kind of like in the spotlight behind a camera, and you're the main star of the show, and that can be really vulnerable and daunting. And it's like, oh my gosh, like all eyes on me. And it takes a certain person to really allow that safety within us to feel comfortable, to soften. But it's like this embodied experience of guiding them into the breath and into the body, or shifting the emotions of the blocks that come through. And I feel like it really is testament to show, because you're talking about your own experience, and we learn from our own experiences, and our stories can support others, but it's all an invitation. Like you say, you're guiding them in a way that just allows them to feel that comfort and ease, to just like, that bring more flow in. I love that so much. And
thanks, babe.
Yeah, it's epic. Really, like what do you feel like is, because I've had experiences behind the camera lots, like growing up, I actually did like this modeling course, and I used to do some modeling, and we used to play with friends behind the camera. So I've been behind the camera a bit just for fun and joy, and like now becoming an entrepreneur in my own business with marketing with you and other friends and things, and really notice the difference when that space isn't held and the importance of that. So I just like honor you and honoring like the space that you hold with that. And like it's testament to see, like, even behind you there's this array of photos that, you know, a lifetime of photos that you've been taking. And you go onto your website, Chanel Baran, I'll put it in the link below, and you can see all these incredible artistic, you know, incredible photos that are so vibrant and like unique, but also creative with the earth. I'm like really excited to explore what your like most memorable photo shoot has been, or something that really stands out for you, because you've done a lot of unique craft and with a diverse range of people. So I'd love to know.
Oh my God, that's so hard.
Maybe it's
Everyone.
the first one that pops in. You're like, okay.
Oh, all of them, yeah. It's so hard to choose because they're all like so amazing. And like I feel so grateful when someone as well, like totally like trust me enough to want to do this and then to be vulnerable in front of the camera to then, you know, deliver this message or, you know, create art that is like so powerful that can really just like go around the world. So I think on that note, I reckon it was this one right here. Oh, there's so many I could talk about. But generally, as a like a huge umbrella, it would be clients and models and the people, the visionaries, the trailblazers that feel confident enough to like want to put themselves out there and help change the world for, you know, like in a more positive way, these like epic change makers. But one in particular was this one right here. This is Shona Keely Jones. It's a little bit controversial, which I love. We were over in the US, and she's like, Chanel, I'd love to collaborate on this photo shoot. I have this idea. And because she is this amazing woman and priestess that does a lot of women's work around the world, and especially with like women's menstrual blood, of in terms of like helping teach and just like share the message for women to honor their bodies, number one, honor their menstrual flow, as it is this like sacred thing that all women have. And yeah, so she's like, I really want to offer, I love it. Whoever's watching this, just go with it. So in a very ceremonial and honoring way to like share her menstrual blood to the as like a prayer and like an offering, that it's a piece of her body that she is giving in gratitude, in thanks, also using it in terms of manifestation. So we did this photo shoot where she offered her beautiful blood to the earth, and we had roses, and it was so gorgeous. And we had these like beautiful women that were like, it was at a hot spring in California.
Oh, even
And these
better.
women, oh my God. And these women who are these amazing singers, they were like serenading us with their song.
Wow.
It was so beautiful. And then, yeah, so like we were like, I was sort of directing the shoot a little bit, but it was a very much a collaboration between us. And yeah, just like adorning herself, honoring her body, sharing it to the earth, covering it in rose petals, making a mandala around it. And so I shared these photos, like seriously one of the most beautiful photo shoots of my whole life. So I shared these photos online. And it like was so controversial. I love it. Because, you know, the mainstream, you know, I feel like these days, especially with you and me and the circles that we travel in and all the beautiful people that we look up to and inspire us, I feel like, you know, this stuff goes on behind closed doors, not so much like all over the internet or on Facebook or on Instagram. Whereas more and more these days, I'm seeing artists and people and women just like doing it and just like not giving a shit of what the society thinks or what the Facebook regulations are, even though I've been blocked many times. So many
Mm,
times. So I'm learning to navigate on how to not be blocked while still expressing through those social platforms. Whereas my website is like the temple where nothing is
mm.
censored, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
So these photos went all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
People sharing them, like, got so many messages from women just being like, oh my God, I have never seen anything like this. I didn't even know you could do this.
Wow.
Like, it was just not in their awareness, or they didn't
Mm,
have women in their life that did this or talked about this or spoke of such reverence of the female
mm.
body.
Yeah.
And then it went all the way to the Middle East. And I got a message, I can't remember what country, but it was a woman over there. And she was just like moved to tears by these photos. And she's like, this is like so taboo in my country.
Mm,
And it was just like phenomenal. And
yeah.
then I got a woman who was running an Israeli magazine, and she
Mm,
published some of these photos in an article over there. And yes, super taboo topics, super taboo things, and I just love it. I love like pushing the boundaries of society and
mm,
the programming that women have had.
yeah.
So I would say that would be one of the most memorable, powerful shoots of my life, I would say. Yeah. Love you,
Seriously,
Shona.
amazing. Like, it's so inspiring because it's really, yeah, like potent, powerful, just the whole experience of the women singing, the honoring, the ceremony, and then using that as a tool to educate and share. Like you mentioned, society that is becoming more common where we're seeing people using blood rituals on their face and different experiences or offering to the earth, and there's more and more education. But like to
I know.
see this honoring in like its fullness, and it's really felt through that, like, because it's in a whole experience. It's not just like, oh, we're just using this as a prop and it's this, it's
Yeah.
actually embodied, and the women are there really like taking this energy to really express this reverence and sacredness
Mhm.
of blood and the menstrual blood. And yeah, it's really inspiring that you work with so many inspiring change makers and influencers out there making a positive impact in the world and sharing the voice, and but through a visual way. It's just like, oh,
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 thank
thank you,
you.
Chanel. Yeah, what would you say, because like with that, like that sounds like right up my alley. I'm so like, oh yeah. With like all of the props and costumes and people who are really artistic and get into the expression in unique ways. Um, like what kind of props and costumes have you experienced in the past as well?
Oh, so many. So I would say my favorite, it's like right above me on my wall over here. It's this incredible photo shoot I did with Hannah Fraser slash Hannah Mermaid, this incredible woman, model, mermaid, artist, ocean activist, like the whole package. She's so inspiring to me. We did this collaboration photo shoot in Los Angeles when I was traveling through there,
Mm,
and she had this amazing mermaid headpiece created by Miss G Designs, which is like my
mm,
idol headpiece designer
yeah.
over in the States. And she incorporated that in our photo shoot. So I feel like headpieces, like really symbolizing that like crown, that queen energy, that adornments really help shift the frequency of how someone feels. Whereas I love, everyone to just come as they are, like if no makeup, no props, just like a t-shirt or
Mm,
a fabric draped over them, from
mm,
the simplest of simple to like the most extravagant. I love it all. And it really depends on the person, but I feel props and like fans or like
mm.
fabric that they can move with and dance really helps. But headpieces just add this like whole epic regal vibe to a photo shoot, and they're just like really tapping into that queen energy, which I'm all about.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, it's incredible what a prop can do, because you bring a prop in and it's like, oh, I can dance and play. And it's similar with dancing as well. Like you bring a prop in, it's we can actually it's like a friend to support us to come into our body. Because that's probably ultimately what you're wanting to capture, is like the rawness of who they are, and like what I see you capture through the essence of photography that you do. It's really bringing them into the body.
Totally. And as well, like drumming really is really fun in a photo shoot, and having the drum as a prop, like we did in our photo shoot, and a lot at the bush camp. And just like even like just like photographing someone doing their ceremony in however way they want to do it, like singing. For example, I did this amazing photo shoot with Xavier Rudd.
Xavier, wow. Love you. We love you, Xavier.
We love you.
We love everybody.
We love all the people. We did this photo shoot where he adorned himself in red ochre and like his own ceremony, and we were just like very silent in the photo shoot, and it was very organic, where I love when that happens, where I'm not saying, okay, let's do this next, let's do this. It's like, move this way, which I love to do as well. But when we can just flow organically and just like keep moving, it's like this beautiful effortless dance. And he had some feathers, and we had like all these different props he was using, and just connecting to nature, and just like using this photo shoot as a ritual just in itself. But then the fact that it's being photographed is a way to create this like portal that you can share with the world, to like come in and tap into that beautiful frequency and get this feeling from the photo shoots. That's as well what I love to do with people, and with women and men, especially with the women's circles photo shoots I've done, where like creating these beautiful mandalas of like inviting the women to move in certain ways. I'm just looking at this one on my wall that you're in with Alicia and a few other gorgeous women in Ellis Beach, and just like using the human body to create all these different shapes, and creating these like powerful images of connection and community and togetherness that other people may look at and be like, that's so beautiful, I want to be a part of that one day. And then they may dive into their local community and different community events, because I feel like sharing the frequency of feeling love in yourself, feeling connected to your body, feeling connected to the earth, and connected to beautiful friends around you is just like the ultimate of being a human. And what I've really enjoyed in my life. So I want to like capture that sort of frequency as well.
I feel that. I feel your intention and ritual and reverence with your photography, and it's such a blessing to have people like you wanting to share that vibration and frequency out with such a heart-centered place, so that we can really uplift and raise the vibration, because it's like we see that, and like it's just instant joy when I see photos and videos or vibrancy, and it's like, oh, or like I feel inspired and I'm going, wow, like I really just want to encapsulate that in my being, well, just by viewing it, or it takes me straight back there. So like I can really see and feel the intention behind your photography and what you capture. So it's really, really incredible. Is there any like final things that you want to share before we slowly wrap the conversation to a close?
Yes. So I just invite anyone who's listening and watching this to go have a photo shoot with a photographer in your local community. And like, well, first of all, find the right photographer that has that vibe that, you feel comfortable with. Send them an email, maybe have a phone call to see if they're the right one. And just, I totally invite you to express yourself and be bold and be courageous and have that sexy couples photo shoot with your partner or have that family photo shoot with your kids to like
Mm.
really like capture this time of your children at whatever age they are, or have a sexy boudoir photo shoot for yourself and your partner, or get some new photos done for your business and just breathe new energy into that.
Mm.
Obviously, I recommend me, but there's so many amazing, awesome artists all around the world. And wherever you are, I'm sure there's an amazing, amazing photographer that's just like waiting for you to reach out. So, yeah, I definitely encourage you to be bold, be courageous, and to love yourself.
Such wise words. Thank you so much for taking the time and energy. I love you so much, and I'm sure so many people will be so inspired by this conversation. And thank you for all those listening. You can tune in and find Chanel through the details below. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can press subscribe or like the video as well. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Ciao.